Good morning, everyone. This is Malika, Marketing Manager for Aruba Networks, Middle East and South Africa. On behalf of the team, I would like to welcome you all for this webinar today. Before we start, let me just inform you that today's webinar is planned for around an hour and 15 minutes. We will start with a quick introduction on Aruba's journey, an overview of the solutions we offer, followed by a deeper dive into the Edge Services platform. While you are listening to the presentations, feel free to ask questions in the chat box. And in the end, in the Q&A segment, we will answer all the questions one by one. And of course, the person who asks the best question will also have a surprise because we have a $50 e-gift voucher planned for the person who asks the best question. So let the questions keep coming in. And of course, I will contact the winner after the webinar. In fact, you don't just have the opportunity to win by sharing questions, but there is also a quiz planned where top 3 winners will win a $50 e-gift voucher as well. So today, apart from gaining insights on ESP, Edge Services platform, you will also have chances to win gift vouchers, which I'm sure motivates you all to proactively participate all through the session today. So that's all from my side, and thank you all once again for joining. I would like to now hand over to Yahya, our sales manager for Egypt, Gulf, and Levant.
Thank you, Malika. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Yahya Al-Amsi. I'm the sales manager for Egypt, Gulf, and Levant. I've been with Aruba HPE for almost 8 years, and I'm enjoying it. Today, if you can go next, please. Today, I'm going to take you to the Aruba journey, starting from 2002. Aruba has started in 2002, and they started as to accommodate connectivity and secure connectivity. And we were only doing just normal Wi-Fi connectivity. Then when iPhones and tablets and smart laptops started, we looked at some acquisitions like ClearPass, and we said, we need to do some NACing, network access administration, and we start looking at securing the connectivity. And to do that, we have start producing, ClearPass, for NAC solution. Start looking at PYOD, and we start to find out, who's the guest is accessing the network and so on. Then in 2015, okay, HP Enterprise has acquired Aruba, okay? And when they acquired Aruba, we start looking at a different arena, which is the cloud arena. So the cloud arena was talking about like location-based services, Internet of Things support, and dynamic segmentation. And later on, both Fahmi and Islam will take you deeper on this arena. After this, we went and we said, we need security. There is a lot of devices, IoT devices. We need to talk. They need to talk to each other. They need to be secure. So we started looking at a different perspective from AIOps, from SDWAN, from Wi-Fi 6, and we said, what we're going to do, we're going to basically capture, analyze, then access data on real time. This journey, it took us, about 18 years, and from 18 years, we were #1 from all, from Wi-Fi, from location services, from security perspective, amongst other vendors. Can you go next, please? So if you look at Aruba, we were leaders, for since 18 years, running, from wired and wireless LAN access. Gartner has done 6 critical capabilities. You're talking about wireless by itself, wireline by itself, wireless and wired, NAC solution, and multi-vendor and management, basically. So we were 6 out of 6. We were number 1 on these critical capabilities. And these critical capabilities, it shows that Aruba has been leading, all these 6 capabilities for almost 18 years. And we're still, looking forward to provide and to innovate new things that it will accommodate the new arena of the cloud. Next. So this is, our my last slide. I've been going very, very quick, to show you that we have done tremendous acquisitions, from actually we've been penetrating other vendors. Like we had last year, one of the biggest projects in Egypt, which is ACUD. It talks about, transforming 27 ministries, from the old Cairo to the new Cairo. And this is one of the flags that we have done in Egypt, okay? The others is like, we've been number 1 in most of the hospitalities, Sheraton, and so on. We have also Orido from a service provider verticals, like doing a lot of managed service business as well. We have other verticals like oil and gas, like Rico, and we have basically the most important things, which is we from a service provider, we've done, data center, we've done many things in telecom, which is in Egypt. This is basically, a brief of the major customers in our region, which is Gulf, Levant, and Egypt. So please, feel free if you need to ask questions or anything, let us know, and somebody will take care of the questions, and we will answer at the end of the session. Thank you so much, guys. Next.
Yes, thank you, Yahya. I would like to now move on to the next segment related to our main ESP offerings, for which I would like to invite Islam, our specialist, to take over.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining this session and webinar today. We hope to make it sharp and clear for you, for our solutions for the next generation networks. So I'll be sharing this presentation with Fahmi. So I'll quick introduction. This is Islam Mungi. I'm the solution architect for Aruba here in Egypt office, and I'll be presenting this session today with along with Fahmi, who is our SE lead for Middle East and South Africa region. So we will be jointly presenting this presentation to you today. Today, as according to the introduction of Yahya, we will be presenting our next generation network solution that suits your different needs according to the different verticals we are covering. So as Yahya said, it has been a long journey with Aruba to join the latest generation of the computer networks, how to serve your needs better, how to serve your customers' need. So we have been enhancing our solutions for the past decade even before Aruba joins HPE. So now it's a milestone for us introducing this next generation solution, which is called the Edge Services Platform, ESP. So ESP is all about, like the screen you can see now, it's about foreseeing the, if we can say this expression, foreseeing the future. So you want to expect what will happen on your network so that you can act quickly. So it's not just handling what you have now on network devices, switches, and access points. Now it's all about how to control your network and foresee what will happen, expect, see, correlate, and using the artificial intelligence techniques to anticipate what may happen to the network, what optimizations can be done so that you can serve your customer better and avoid downtime. So it's a kind of quick journey. It's a kind of 4 steps to plan your next generation network in a modern and automated way using artificial intelligence techniques, which is, as you may know, that artificial intelligence is now the predominant technology that is almost controlling everything. Most of the studies or studying the universities are focusing on how AI can serve the different verticals in different industries. So now, what's the main goal of the customers or different organizations, different enterprises, different whatever the entity? Maybe it's a factory, it's a hotel, it's a company, it's an hotel chain, a restaurant chain. The main requirement of the enterprise is to provide an enhanced experience for their customers, to be able to increase revenues, which is the main focus, and at the same time decrease costs. So to decrease it's a kind of mix between having an enhanced experience and then provide at the same time with decreased cost. So to be able to do this and how the network can serve this purpose, at the same time we are getting a lot of more devices getting connected to the network. It is expected by 2022 that 55 billion devices will be connected to the network worldwide. This is an anticipation by the IDC. So this massive amount of devices may be a regular computer connected to the network. Maybe it's an CCTV camera, maybe it's a temperature sensor, maybe it's a coffee machine at the lobby of a hotel or a restaurant. Maybe it's a machine inside a big factory. So this is a huge, massive amount of devices that you as CIOs, as a network administrators, network managers, and IT managers, you'll need to have it connected and protected as well. So there is a massive amount of data that's generated at this. This is what we call at the edge of the network. This is the actual devices that generates the data that you will need to have an output from it to be able to drive your business and achieve your business outcomes at the end. So it's a huge amount of data created and generated at the edge of the network. So if we quickly have different use cases, worldwide use cases, first use case is toward the energy. So Texmark is a chemical refinery company in the US. They are concerned about their employee safety, how to get a lot of information from the machines or the IoT sensors connected to their machines to be able to react quickly, because they are working with a very sensitive flammable chemicals, and they have 130 plus active pumps and a lot of huge amount of miles of pipes to monitor. They want to monitor it immediately. At the same time, they want to anticipate what may happen to the network so that they can provide the safety. Their most important area of concern is the safety of their employees. It's a very sensitive environment, and they when they monitor this huge amount of pipes by the traditional walking down along the miles of pipes, checking what if there is any leakage, if this sensor is giving a critical reading. So they were incurring a lot of expenses that they want to save it. So our solution to them was providing a whole solution for IoT ready access points and beacons that monitor and reads the data from their sensors, back it to our back end along with our HPE compute and storage solutions. And they centrally from one central location, they can get these readings and get the status of what's happening on their network, and the result was a huge amount of saving. Another use case is a Kemet, which is an industrial organization. They are talking about the adopted the industry 4.0 automation, which is how the artificial intelligence can lead the whole manufacturing process. Because the old analog technology it hinders the digital transformation journey. They need to adopt. They thought with us, how can they improve their operational efficiencies? So our solution for them was a whole solution for using Aruba Central with the built-in AI ops that Fahmi will be talking about shortly. Again, we used our Aruba access point as an IoT platform, and then our switches, our ClearPass, which is our NAC solution or network admission control solution, all together being monitored centrally from the Aruba Central, so that they can connect this whole amount of sensors and IoT devices to our to the back end, so that they can get the readings and give it the proper secured access without worrying about any attacks that may happen. So again, this is different kind of environment that use our technology. Then a whole different solution or vertical is the tractor supply company, which is a retail shop, a chain of shops. They need to have they are having around 1,900 retail storefronts nationwide in the US. Then due to the COVID-19, they need to adopt a different model of operation. They need to provide a more safe operational mode or mode of operation. They want to have an extensive wireless to be able to serve their needs. Then we adopted the ESP using our Aruba APs as for the coverage. Then associated these APs with mobile applications so that they can provide a better customer experience. Then they have using the mobile checkout, which is what they call the killer app, so that they can the customers can do their checkout using the mobile app directly. Again, the scenario is to provide a comprehensive networking solution that help the IT administrators, CIOs, and network managers to be able to provide business efficiency, greater revenue, and with decreased cost of operation, of course. And again, with the target is to have a better customer experience. This is our goal, to have the best customer experience, which is the terms that we'll see a lot here is CX. CX refers to the customer experience. This is the term that we hear a lot now. The target is to provide a greater customer experience by providing less disruption on the network, a lot of more insights about who is visiting the customers, who is visiting the shop, and who are the which customers are now in which section, so that we can provide the best experience to these customers. So let's now dig into some details about how this is happening all together. So previously, our applications were designed to connect to cloud. Most of the applications, a lot of applications now on the cloud. So, for example, in our interaction with the hospitality customers, we know that for example, their Oracle Fidelio are now almost moving to the cloud. So a lot of applications were designed, or the network actually also were designed to connect just to the cloud. Then with the increased amount of IoT devices, and as we can see, a lot of sensors, a lot of cameras in a hotel room, or a manufacturing industry, or a retail shop. So a lot of data is connected to the network. So this is what we call that the data, a huge amount of data is generated at the edge. So the edge needs to be an intelligent one that can handle this data. It's a huge amount of data that's generated at the edge. This huge amount of data generated at the edge, it's not logic with this type of cloud applications that we said, that we cannot transfer all this amount of data to the cloud. We cannot, for example, transfer these readings. It's not logic to transfer the data generated by temperature sensors to back to the cloud. The response will be too slow. For example, if we not need to take action based on this, so it's not logic to have this data transferred to the cloud, back end at the cloud, processed, then went back to the edge to be processed or take action. Then it's what we need is to have an intelligent edge to cloud, which is how we can transfer the data and process it locally, get what we need, the quick actions that need to be taken at the edge, then just to transfer the conclusion to the cloud, or the other way around, or to use the cloud as a pool of information that is just the concluding what is happening, what similarly had happened before in a similar situation, then transfer this information. This is what we call that Fahmi will cover. This part is what's called the AI ops. It's artificial intelligence operations. This is conclusion of what's happening worldwide, and then getting the output of these conclusions to the edge to take proper action. So what challenges do we have at the edge? That we have a technology silos. The technology silos most IT organizations say that they have maybe more than 4 network management tools. For example, management tool for the wired network, management tool for the wireless network, management tool for the IoT devices, management tool for the security, and this is these technology silos hinder the agility. The agility is to be able to respond quickly to the changes in the business requirement. The other thing that we face as a challenge at the edge is the lack of network automation visibility. So if, for example, if you want to implement or a lot of branches in a short period of time, which we face this situation a lot, that it's digital transformation project happening, for example, in a retail chain, then they want or a network of bank branches that need to be deployed in a very short time. So we need to automate the process of network deployment and also the visibility, what's connected to the network, how we can quickly see what's connecting to our network, which users are connected to which branch. So this some statistics say that 70% of the time of the IT staff are spent in trying to identify and diagnose issues that's happening on the network because they lack the automation and visibility tools. Then 80% of the IT organizations see that the IoT devices are a threat, see them as a threat to the network. And maybe 2 or 3 years ago, we faced this situation here in Egypt that a lot of the, for example, on the physical security stuff, they don't prefer to have the network CCTV cameras, and they prefer to have the analog CCTV cameras because they responded to us that maybe this can be a threat. I don't want to have these CCTV cameras connected to the network that may be that may be hacked, for example. And the other way around, the network team sees that entering this or having this amount of IoT devices, sensors, cameras, etc., are getting it connected to the network without they usually have what kind of this kind of PC or personal computer that they can, for example, install an antivirus on it, anti-spam, protect it correctly. But for the IoT devices, it's a small chip or circuit board that they cannot install any kind of protection or network protection. So they see the IoT devices as a threat to the network. This again hinders the adoption of the technology at the edge. Again, some more statistics say that 71% of the IT budget are not on the technology itself, but it's for the human resources to operate this network. So we want to save this some of this amount to help us operate the network better. So although these challenges are happening at the edge, but the network can do a lot more that can help us overcome these challenges. So our innovative solution is to provide a complete solution that can suit the customers, whether they have a single head office or hundreds of remote branches with one or more main offices. They have some applications on the cloud, some is hosted on their own data center. It's a campus solution, it's a data center solution, solutions that can suit the different verticals: education, financial sector, manufacturing, hospitality, retail. So our solution is simply the Aruba Edge Services Platform, which is a complete architecture getting around the Aruba Central, which is our main cloud platform. And by the way, we have Aruba Central, we have a different flavor of it, which is called Aruba Central On-Prem, which is most of the features that we'll be talking about. We can put it back on-premises in case the cloud maybe have some concerns for some of the customers, but almost we have majority of the features that we'll be talking about here again on the Aruba Central on-premises, which is, we call it COP, Aruba Central on-premises. So it's all about having a unified infrastructure that can suit your network environment across all domains and application and locations, whether it is a remote or a remote office, branch, data center, campus. Then we have our main part here, which is the Zero Trust Security. Zero Trust Security is our main solution to protect what will be connected to the network and make sure that only also the authorized devices or persons will be connecting to the network. Then we have the innovative solution of AI Ops, artificial intelligence operations, which is an artificial intelligence powered set of solutions that can identify any issues that may happen to the network and quickly provide as a suggestion for the solution for this. And we'll see some interesting slides about this at the end. So for the infrastructure, we have maybe the wireless, wired, our SD branch or SDWAN solution. It's connected over maybe over the regular network or 5G, IoT devices or IoT sensors, integration with IoT devices. Then we have for the connect and protect part, we have different solutions for the visibility and authenticating what's connected to the network, continuous monitoring, enforcing the policy. Then we have the services that runs on top of this to provide onboarding of new devices, provisioning of quick provisioning of the network devices, analytics, how we can analyze what's happening on the network, and doing the location services, and of course the traditional management of the network, provide network map, logs of what's happening on the network. So this is along with the AI Ops that run on top of the unified infrastructure on the at the background. So it's a 3 steps. Actually, it's connect, how we connect the actual devices, then protecting these devices when it's getting connected to the network, then analyze what's happening on the network and act actually using an artificial intelligence technique. So first step is the connect here. And please feel free to send your questions on the chat if you have any, and we'll be answering it, me and Fahmi at the end. So please feel free to ask if there is any comments or questions. So step 1 is connecting different users and different devices to the network. So at the beginning, the access point or the Wi-Fi is now no longer just a Wi-Fi or providing just Wi-Fi signal. We called our access point, it's an IoT platform actually. So we, as we said, we are having a massive amount of IoT devices and different users getting connected to the network. For example, the new laptops now, if you can see this happening, because they want, especially the business laptops, they want to make it slim, so they provide the laptops without a wired network connection. So they only provide the wireless, and you will have to maybe buy a small Ethernet adapter, maybe USB to Ethernet adapter to connect it to the wire. So the Wi-Fi is getting a lot of traction, especially with the high speeds that now we're having in Wi-Fi 6. and most of the IoT devices are now connected using wireless technologies, with different wireless technologies, not necessarily Wi-Fi. For example, we have Bluetooth, BLE, which is, we can see that a lot of devices are connected using BLE, and we have the ZigBee protocol, which is used extensively on the hospitality vertical, especially, in which we use the ZigBee protocol to, for example, connect the door locks, and it's now being adopted in other sensors to have it as a wireless communication media. So previously you would have different devices that can connect these users, Wi-Fi, access point, Bluetooth, for example, adapters, ZigBee devices. That now we have all this in a single device called IoT platform, previously our Aruba access points. So we have a single device that we can use it to connect all these types of users, sensors, and IoT and devices to the network. Previously, we have a different architecture for if we have a campus Wi-Fi and a branch Wi-Fi. We have to adopt different solutions. For example, for the branch Wi-Fi, we may be using Aruba Instant, and the campus we may be using the controller-based, and we have a separate management tools. Now we are unifying these solutions for the campus and Wi-Fi, and most of our customers who have different flavors of their offices, they faced this issue before, and now we have a single architecture that can manage both the campus Wi-Fi and the branch Wi-Fi, and treat both of them exactly the same way, manage it from the same interface. So reducing the tools to use that we're using to manage the network, and this also helps us for better operation. And the same was happening on the campus, or the switching. So previously, and not actually this, not only for Aruba, but for a lot of the famous networking vendors, they have a different architecture and different platforms, different operating systems for the device, for the wiring closet or the campus network, and the other one for the data center. So we have separate platforms. Now we have the Aruba OSCX, which is our next generation switching platform. It's a common OS from the campus or the edge of the network up to the data center. We have a unified operating system called AOSCX that is running on the data center switch, and also running the same operating system is running on the campus switches. So we have overcome the issue of having different silos or different operating system, different trainings for the data center stuff and for the campus people, with innovative features like non-stop PoE, which is quick. We call sometimes it is called the quick PoE, that the PoE is not disrupted when doing a restart for the switch or upgrading the software. So we have with innovative features not called network analytics engine. So all these are we have unified the switching platform. Then we have our SDWAN solution that is connecting, helping the customer to connect their branches using either the SD branch or the innovative Silver Peak solution for connecting the SD-WAN. So we are now getting the SD-WAN management using our SD branch solution, getting the SD-WAN again managed from the same platform. So now we have quickly we have unified the users and devices that's getting connected to the network. We unified the branch and the campus Wi-Fi. We have unified the switching platform, and we have an SDWAN solution. Then all these solutions are managed centrally from the Aruba Central, which is the Aruba Central management platform that is managing the whole wired, wireless, SDWAN, and branch and head office and data center, all managed centrally from one central location using artificial intelligence technique and machine learning techniques, so that we can say that we have a self-driving network, which means that the network is healing itself and providing the recommendation and anticipation of what's happening on the network and the best way to overcome any challenge that is happening. So the Aruba Central is managing and controlling these different network environments so that we can have a simpler network management and increased feature adoption. Then the next step is the protect. How we can protect all these devices and users when it's getting connected to the network. So we treat it as what we call the zero trust architecture, is that we don't trust any device on the getting connected to the network unless we do the proper steps, which is authenticating, profiling, identifying the user, profiling it, authenticating it, and then giving it the proper authorization according to what's happening, and then actually acting upon these users if anything changed while the user is connected. So we have been integrating this zero trust security with our SD-WAN solution along with the cloud delivered security service. So our Aruba zero trust architecture is simply involves around the visibility, what's getting connected to the network, them providing, enforcing the proper access policy, and the more continuous monitoring of what's happening on the network. We provide the authentication services, the role-based access control. So it all evolves about the ClearPass family of products, and then integrating it with our SD-WAN solution. And this is happening either on the built-in features on our SD-WAN gateways, or on the coming integration with between ClearPass and Silver Peak SD-WAN solution. So ClearPass is our end-to-end visibility control and automation solution. It starts with visibility, device discovery and profiling. When, for example, when any sensor is getting connected to the network, we have to properly recognize and to profile this device to be able to provide its accurate authorization profile, and recognize if there is any malicious device that's getting connected to the network, that's its profile is not properly matched with the regular profile. For example, for the camera, the profile for the camera should read that it is for example from Honeywell, and its MAC address should start with this, and its DHCP fingerprint should be like this, so that if anything in any device tried to emulate that it is a camera, it may be able to change, for example, its MAC address to match the MAC address of the camera, but the other fingerprints would not match. So we have to properly profile the device to have the correct visibility, then to provide the authentication, which is to authenticate this device and give it the correct profile, the access privilege, the correct access privilege according to the type of device, then enforce this policy on the network when it comes connected, so that we and integrate with the 360 secure exchange program with the other security devices. For example, the next generation firewall, the same solutions, thing, we have an attack response because we receive action responses or information from the external security devices, so that we can act accordingly when the next generation firewalls detects a malicious activity, because the ClearPass have the upper hand on the actual network devices. So the first step is to authenticate the device and to provide the proper connection to recognize the device correctly. We have the combination of different protocols, .1x, MAC authentication bypass, profiling, so that we can recognize the endpoint that's connected to the network and get authenticated from the using the ClearPass, maybe from centralized device or Active Directory or things like this. And then at the same time, we may have multi-factor authentication and different authentication techniques. And then we have the we have introduced recently our ClearPass device insight solution, which is an AI-powered cloud solution for profiling the devices. Of course, the ClearPass have built-in profiling techniques, but the ClearPass device insight is adding a lot of new features for quickly recognizing the devices that's connected to the network. For example, if a new vendor for the cameras or the TV boxes or set-top boxes or sensors produced a new device, it will take a much more time to reach these fingerprints when to reach your database to recognize it quickly that it is, for example, it's a Honeywell new model of camera. So using the ClearPass device insights makes it because it's a cloud platform, it have its database of fingerprints are being updated almost every hour with new devices that it's getting well known. So I have a quick example here that, for example, when using my home lab, I was having a small TV box from Xiaomi, which is a well-known mobile company. At the beginning, when I was connecting to my lab, this device was relatively new, so it was not recognized. But after maybe 1 or 2 weeks, it gets recognized because a lot of this device get connected to the network, and its fingerprint went back to our database and updated. And then maybe 2 or 3 weeks, it gets this device recognized as Mi TV box, because its information or its fingerprint got into our database quickly, so that we don't have to manage the fingerprint or custom fingerprinting. The ClearPass device insight takes care of this status of updating the database. The old way of securing the network access, for example, depending on the VLANs, is not scaling well, because a lot of devices will be connected, and managing this amount of VLANs will be a mess. So we have introduced what's called dynamic segmentation. Dynamic segmentation is simply not having a static VLANs configured on the switches. It's getting when the device is connected to the network, whether it is a corporate device, PIOD device, IoT, or guest, and whether it is connected to the wired or the wireless, the switch and the ClearPass will recognize this user and provide its tunnel separately to different, being driven to a separate tunnel according to the rule. For example, this corporate device will have access to the Office 365 and Air Group device, and maybe not the other applications or the other. So the access privilege is being enforced dynamically. And on the same port, we use the term colorless port. Colorless port may apply to the to the wired switch or even the access point, so that when the device is connected to the network, it will be connected using a separate tunnel with the proper access privilege. And when this user is disconnected and another user is connected to the same port, maybe I unplugged my PC, my corporate PC, and for any reason I plugged an IoT camera. So I will not have the privilege of the camera, should not have the privilege of the corporate device. It should have access only to the CCTV servers and for example, the operators or security operators monitors only. So this is what we call dynamic, and it's and called segmentation, because the traffic will be segmented using I'm not using the dynamic or the static way of VLAN configuration, but it's using the different tunnels so that it can run together with different users, different applications, different type of devices simultaneously on the same access point and same switch, but with completely separate tunnels of traffic that they cannot see each other. Then we have introduced the what we call the features of the intrusion detection on our SDWAN gateways, that can recognize some of we call it UTM features on our SDWAN gateways. So now we are introducing a whole new solution, which is maybe in a separate session. We have acquired Silver Peak, the worldwide famous SDWAN company back in 2020, and we are getting it integrated now into our solution. We are getting a huge integration between this is coming very soon, the integration between Silver Peak and ClearPass and Aruba Central. The first integration would be integrating Silver Peak with ClearPass, so that you can integrate your policies along with the SD-WAN solution. So it's WAN and security getting together to suit your needs. And we'll be communicating more information about this integration between our SD-WAN, Silver Peak SD-WAN solution and the ClearPass shortly, and this will be shared at you when this integration is over. So now I'll hand it to Fahmi to introduce the most interesting part, which is the AI Ops and Analyze and Act. So Fahmi, please join from here.
Thank you, Islam. 1 second, let me put this on the screen. Sorry for that. 1 second. So I hope you've been enjoying the session so far. I'm seeing some questions coming in, really good questions. I hope most of them are answered already, because some of the questions were initially asked before Islam dived into the unify, connect, and protect parts of ESP, and relating to the access points, the beacons, ClearPass, what is ClearPass, what does it do, the licenses. But we will be going back to these questions anyway. Please keep your questions coming in, and we will gladly answer those in a while as well. So moving on, after we had done the connection and protection, it's time to analyze and act based on the data and the context of the connected devices, the users, and the IoT on the network's edge. Now, bearing in mind that market research shows that more than 55% of network operations are still being done manually, and companies who do have some sort of machine learning or AI embedded into their infrastructure, they don't use more than, not more than 5% of them use machine learning and AI to analyze and act upon the data they have. That's why today we're introducing AI Ops, which is artificial intelligence for IT operations within Aruba Edge Services platform, so that we can assist, do more for less, as we started out saying. we have powerful features that help us establish powerful results. So we're looking at resolving issues faster. We're looking at increasing the capacity of the IT team. We're looking at increasing the accuracy to identify the specific root cause. And it's not only here the experience of the end user, but also the experience of the IT administrators themselves. So what are these features? We're looking at AI Assist, we're looking at AI Insights and AI Search. Every one of these features uses machine learning and AI to leverage AI ops and help administer and provide better experience in one way or another. And I'm going to take you to sort of a snapshot of what it does on the Aruba Central platform through these features. So we start with AI Assist, and AI Assist can leverage the data and information we have on the platform to look into failures or problematic areas, and drive automatic collection of troubleshooting data so that the admins can be alerted on what's happening today on the network. So as you can see here, AI Assist will on the screen is showing that, I'm not sure if my pointer is moving. I don't think so. It's okay. Another try. No. So if you can take a look at the screen, you will see that AI Assist is showing the IT admin that there are problems with some IPsec tunnels in the network, and we need to delve deeper into these issues and see what the root cause for these are. So clicking on these issues will show that there's a specific description for the alert that has been notified to the admin and placed on the dashboard. It doesn't stop here. So the description will help us understand more what's happening, why it's happening, but it goes also to data collection. So the system does diagnosis of and troubleshooting of the problem, collects the data, and then has this sent in an email to Aruba TAC. And on the same platform, on the same dashboard, which is Aruba Central, Aruba TAC will respond onto that platform to tell you why this problem is happening and the analysis of the problem, the solution to the problem, and if it requires further troubleshooting or assistance, so that they can schedule a remote session with you so that they can help you change the configuration and resolve the problem. So that's one part of it. Now, think about the traditional way with any vendor that you have today. You have a problem, you call your partner or you call your local SE. You tell them, I have a problem. Can we open a ticket with TAC? Or they tell you, like, we can't solve it. Let's open a ticket with TAC. Please open a ticket. You do that or they do it on your behalf. TAC responds and tells you, who are you? What's your agreement number? Give us a serial, give us your license information, and so on, and describe your problem. You do that, and then someone responds back and tells you, okay, let's schedule a session to go over the problem. And that's if you can replicate the problem to happen, because it will take an effort to go to the same location and troubleshoot the same AP, get the same handset or the same device, or troubleshoot the same switch, and so on and so forth. So all of this takes a matter of up to 18 hours or a full day of a full working day. All of this is now automated and saves you up to 90% of your problem, identifying the root cause for your problems, as well as dealing with Aruba TAC for scheduling a call to fix the problem, or even getting the response to fix the problem without the need to go for a call. And that's the power of AI Assist in Aruba's AI Ops. Now, in the same problem, let's say I want to troubleshoot the user's device. He reported the problem, and I want to check and understand what's going on. So NLP, which is natural language processing, will help you on Aruba Central's dashboard to enter any information you know about the user, his IP address, his MAC address, the name of the location he's connecting from, the name of the AP, the name of the switch, even the name of the command that you think you're trying to use to solve the problem, like VLAN or config-t or LACP, whatever you're trying to do on the switches, on the access point level. You type in whatever you feel like typing in, and the AI search will use NLP to get you all the information that you might be trying to look for, be it a command or being the actual end user data that you're trying to search for. And this takes a lot of time out of the IT admin to look around the proper menu, the proper GUI window or tab, so that they know where they want to troubleshoot or work. and even time looking up the user information and the endpoint itself. And think of the time that this saves you as well if you're not already trained on the solution itself. So it doesn't mean that we don't want to train you, or we don't want to leverage our training partners or professional services so that you can get the adequate professional and expert level training, but this will cut you a lot of time on onboarding a new member onto an Aruba solution, or onboarding an Aruba solution in a greenfield deployment, or if you are replacing another vendor that you've used to administering by an Aruba underlying solution. So let's look at AI Ops in action. Let's consider one problem, and we do have many problems that AI Ops solve today. One of the problems on Wi-Fi is poor connectivity on the Wi-Fi. So you get a call and someone on the phone tells you your internet is slow. This is a very generic statement. Now, that's where on AI Ops today, we can identify the root cause of this problem. And it is on the RF, on the physical layer of Wi-Fi, where we know, or the system knows, that there are too many users on the 2.4 gigahertz band. 2.4 gigahertz is not the best band to be now in the world of Wi-Fi 5 and Wi-Fi 6 and the upcoming Wi-Fi 6E, because 5 gigahertz and eventually 6 gigahertz will offer wider channels, will offer a cleaner medium for the users to transmit faster, cleaner, and to minimize the power usage, to minimize the battery usage. Now, someone reported the issue. AIOps can immediately tell you that the issue is on the 2.4 gigahertz radio. Traditionally, you would go to the area of the problem. You would try to tell the user, please wait for me, I'm coming. He will tell you, I'm sorry, I cannot wait for you. You tell him, okay, what's your handset? He tells you it's an iPhone, it's a Samsung 20, it's a Google Pixel, whatever it is. You try to replicate, you try to do packet captures, you try to test it. It might happen, it might not happen again. The same experience, whether it's bad or good. You might try to troubleshoot from the network side, to log into the controller, to the access point, to the uplink, to the port, to the switch, to the aggregation switch, all the way to the core, all the way maybe even to the firewalls, to the packet shapers, to the load balancers, up to the internet links. So it might take up to 20 to 30 man-hours to troubleshoot such a simple problem. We know it's simple because I gave away the root cause of it, but if you don't know the root cause, you will have to go throughout the whole process. Now, that's if all goes well. Now, with AI Ops, with AI Insights on AI Ops, it can tell you that there is a problem beforehand or as it's happening. So we're looking at proactive troubleshooting, no longer reactive troubleshooting. We look at AI Ops telling us, yes, there's a problem on 2.4, and here's the suggestion for the resolution of the problem. Let's decrease the power on 2.4, maybe turn it off on some access points, and increase the power on 5 gigahertz so that this is the optimal power setting for your Wi-Fi coverage right now. This is how it should be. We detected that your devices are capable of doing 5 gigahertz, and this is where we want them to be for their better experience. Now, once that is done, the devices shift to 5 gigahertz because now they're capable to shift to 5 gigahertz. The user experience is improved, and the time spent to troubleshoot the issue is taken down under 3 hours. So moving from 20 to 30 hours down to 3 hours or less. So that's 90% of savings for the IT administrator time, not to mention the help desk and the support desk team members' time. Now, this is just one example or a few examples on how AI Ops operates. We have so many examples pertaining to switching, to Wi-Fi, that's built on benchmarking and the big data lakes that Aruba has from its 60,000 plus customers, where we reference the vertical you are in, whether you're coming from an industrial vertical, financial vertical, hospitality, healthcare, education, higher education, and so on, and based on which we can recommend the optimal setting for your environment. And this is all handled by machine learning and by artificial intelligence. Now, once we're doing that, once we're leveraging that, it's now time to accelerate this. So how to accelerate this? And this is by providing ESP as a service. And that's where two main keywords here I want to focus on today, which are software as a service and managed services. Because with managed services today, we can rely on Aruba and its partners, specifically its managed service partners, to co-lead and co-deliver those solutions on top of ESP. And with SaaS, we can look into an as-a-service subscription model that decreases the time for delivery of your solutions and takes the burden out of how much do I want to invest today in the subscription and the licenses, how do I renew, changes your consumption from a CapEx model into an OpEx model, whether it's on-prem or in the cloud. So that's what I'm saying today. So with SaaS, we're looking at centralized network management with Aruba Central, and Aruba is one of the few, if not the only vendor to provide you, and I put the statement in bold, both an on-prem and a cloud delivery for all of the solutions we have talked about today. And to be totally transparent, the AI Ops part is delivered on-prem as a subset of the features that we have in the cloud, because the more advanced AI Ops features as of today are present in the cloud. A subset of them is present with an on-prem flavor of the solution, which is called Central On-Prem. So at the end of the day, it is central. It's a single pane of glass management for the unified infrastructure, like Islam mentioned, for wired, for wireless, for SD branch, and so on. But we do have a cloud version and an on-prem version for people who do not want to go to the public cloud. So that's it from accelerating the onboarding and the consumption of the services and the subscriptions for Central, for ClearPass, for the APs, for the switches with Central on-prem or in the cloud. So I want to end and summarize by why choosing Aruba. And I want to go back here to Yahya's first point, Aruba being known as a wireless vendor. So if you look just to Aruba as a wireless vendor, we're looking at the vendor that has more than 100,000 plus global customers with more than a million Wi-Fi 6 APs sold, because Aruba was and still is one of the only vendor that has a fully certified Wi-Fi 6 portfolio. And we are the first vendor, I'm not sure if you've been following the news, to have produced the first enterprise grade level Wi-Fi 6E access point, which has been announced the past week, the AP635. We've always led across the 6 key use cases for Gartner, and that's where I want to take it further over here. So again, it's not only on Wi-Fi, but other areas. So the protection on investment with a unified infrastructure, the flexibility it gives you and adaptability, which gives a sense of intelligence on the smart edge today to be able to use the switches and the APs in more than one architecture and more than one management approach. The global partnerships we have today for connecting with vendors out of the box, whether it's on the connectivity layer from the AP as an IoT gateway, with 860 plus partners, or on the security layer, when after we connect, we secure the endpoints with ClearPass and the ClearPass family of products, where we integrate with third-party vendors for multiple use cases: MDM, EMM, multi-factor authentication, SIM, logging, the multiple underlying vendors for connectivity on the wire, on the wireless, security perimeter firewalls, next generation firewalls, and so on and so forth. The return on investment you get with the adaptability of the infrastructure, as we mentioned, and changing from CapEx to OpEx with software as a service. The technology roadmap we have for further integrations on wired, on wireless, on security, on SD-WAN, as well as our training and enablement capabilities that we give you. And we're promising to onboard you faster with the AI op features we have today on Central. Of course, our market leadership that Yahya mentioned, ranking in the leader quadrant for the 15 years running, and the top one in the 6 critical capabilities of Gartner's report. Summarizing and looking back at ESP, this is where we're looking at the new intelligent edge, which requires a new adaptable platform, flexible enough for digital transformation initiatives and other initiatives, where ESP is the perfectly aligned one that's cloud native, AI powered for automating, unifying, and securing the edge. And we get there in 4 steps. So we look at connectivity, protection, and zero trust security, analyzing and acting with AI ops, and accelerating this through rolling out into scaling up, scaling to branches, scaling to remote teleworkers, and so on. So that's it from my side, just to trying to summarize why Aruba and why Aruba ESP specifically. We'll now go to Malika I think hopefully to a quiz we have prepared, and we'll come back to some questions and answers. So we still have a small window for you to post more questions. We'll be going through those questions between me and Islam to get you hopefully some answers back. Thank you.
Thank you, Fehmi and Islam. That was a great session with lots of insights on ESP. Now is the fun part of today's session, the Kahoot quiz. So it's a test of your listening skills. And like I said, we are going to run a quiz where you have chances to win, not just by giving the right answer, but also giving the right answer very quickly, because the quiz is based on speed as well as accuracy. So to get started, please log on to www.kahoot.it. It's very simple. Just log on to the website kahoot.it. Some of you seem to be an expert. You're already there. That's great. My only request is please enter your full name after you enter the game pin, because to identify winners and later send vouchers, we need to have the full names. And it's a very easy quiz. Nothing is, nobody will know, if you are not right. So don't worry, and please log in. We are waiting for as many of you to join. There are $50 vouchers for top 3 winners. So please log on to kahoot.it or open the app for Kahoot and start participating. After you enter the game code, we'll have 20 seconds to answer each question. And when you see the questions, the options are going to be in different colors. So on the screen, you need to see what is the right answer's color and choose that color in your phone. We have so many attendees, and I'm sure you all should participate, You can shop, you can buy something for your family with those vouchers, and also learn something at the end of the day. Come on, guys, come on. You all should participate. This is a free hit. It's very simple, and I'm waiting to see at least half of you join this. Actually, all of you, because it's very simple. And please don't hesitate. Nothing is right or wrong. Please participate. I will not take names of those who give the wrong answers. I'm sure we can have many more. I'll wait for another 60 seconds. Please try to join. Come on, please, all of you. It's a very interesting and very simple quiz. Okay, good to see some more names. I'm sure a few of more can also, without hesitating, join us. It's very. Okay, I'll be starting in 20 seconds, so my final request, please join the quiz. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so the first question, Aruba is a global leader for which of the following solutions? This is very simple. Last 5 seconds. Okay, that was quite easy. Don't hesitate to participate. Nothing is right, nothing is wrong, don't worry. So let's see who's leading. Okay, that's good. Mossad, you're leading so far. Let's see. Question 2. Aruba is a Dash-based wireless networking subsidiary of HPE. It's very simple. Okay, that's a tie. I think we have 2 correct, 2 wrong answers, but it's California. Moving to the next question. And let's see who's leading. Is Zach. Okay. So you still have 3 more questions. Let's see the third question now. What is the full form of Aruba ESP? I think this is something you all can easily answer. Okay, let's see who's leading. Isaac is still leading. Now, 2 more questions to go. Let's see the next question. Which of the following Aruba solutions are a new addition to the enterprise-grade portfolio? Femi was just talking about this. Okay, I think everybody's given the quickest answer for this. Wow. Last 5 seconds. That's great. Let's see who's leading. Now it's Saqib. Wow, the final winners, top 3 winners will be decided on the last question. So let's see what the last question is. Aruba has acquired which SD-WAN vendor? Oh, that's super quick. Of course, it's Silver Peak. But let's see who are the top 3 winners. Oh, number 3 is Michael. Number 2 is Mossad. And number 1, let's see who the star of today's quiz is. Oh, it's Saqib. Wow. And the runners-up are Isaac and Ajay Raj. Well tried. And I think congratulations, very well done by all of our participants and of course the winners. I would surely get in touch with you all for the gift vouchers. And before we conclude, I would hand over to Femi again for the question answer segment. And from my side, thank you all for joining once again.
Thank you, Malika. We'll go over the questions quite quickly. I think quite a few have been answered during Islam's part. So one question is, what about APs and beacons? To be honest, it's a very, very high level question. But in brief, we still are producing our standalone beacons, our BLE beacons, and the beacons have also been embedded into the access points. As you have seen, Islam mentioned the AP as an IoT gateway, where the BLE technology is one of the radios. With the next generation, as we said, Wi-Fi 6E, we will not only have Bluetooth, we have Zigbee, we have 2.4 gigahertz, we have 5 gigahertz, and we have 6 gigahertz radios. I'm just gonna jump to the second question again. This time, Islam. What is the ClearPass? Is it a monitoring system? Can you reiterate? I know you explained it, but can you just go over this question?
Okay, no, this is it's a nice question for the customers that who is not very familiar with Aruba. So ClearPass is our solution for what's called the network admission control. So the network admission control is the piece of solution or software that is controlling what's getting connected to the network, how to provide its proper, actually profile it, know that it is an IP phone, it is a camera or a printer or a PC, and then give it the proper access policy, authenticate the user against the network, or against the user or device repository, and then get apply the proper access profile to the switch port or the access point. So here is what the name comes from: network admission control. So it's admits the users or device to the network and get it properly connected. So this is all the ClearPass. The ClearPass includes some different modules doing different things, but this is a whole another discussion. But it's a critical piece of doing the automation and providing seamless authentication and connection for the user without depending on the old way of getting, for example, a static VLANs. And so we get users authenticated and connected to the network properly and automatically, because we configure the policy centrally, then it applied dynamically when the user is getting connected. Okay, so the third question, it is how to obtain an intelligent edge.
Okay, I can take that. So obtaining an intelligent edge today depends on the business outcome you're trying to do. So we covered many examples. An intelligent edge today, in brief, does more for less, as Islam put it out at the beginning. Whether it's a switch or the access point or ClearPass, what we're trying to do is we're trying to understand what's connecting on the network and connecting it in the simplest, fastest, and most secure way possible, so that we can support business outcomes, meaning more productivity, better experience, less time and resources spent in troubleshooting problems. That's how we make the edge intelligent, turning troubleshooting from reactive to proactive, integrating an IoT sensor through the AP to take out the overheads of an IoT gateway, powering it up, cabling it, maintaining it, so that you can reduce your total cost of ownership. This is all part of looking at the edge and making it intelligent. We're no longer looking at a switch as a port connectivity device, or as an AP as a Wi-Fi connectivity device, or as a NAC solution or a management solution as just AAA network admission. We're looking into leveraging the information of what is connected, what is secure, to do more for your business as to support the business outcome. And that's how the edge becomes intelligent. It's good you answered the first question on ClearPass, Islam, because the second question for you now is, what is the license of ClearPass?
Okay, so the license, briefly, the license of the ClearPass is based on the number of concurrent connections or concurrent devices. That is concurrent connections, actually. So if, for example, if we have 100 users connected to the network, so the first or the most important one is what's called the access license, which is the access license is the number of concurrent users that's expected to be connected to the network at the same time. So this is the first license, which is called the access license. The access license, unlike other vendors, it includes two major parts or two important features, which includes the profiling feature. So the profiling feature is the ability to profile the devices and know that this is an IP phone, this is a camera, this is a TV box, this is a set-top box, this is a PC, and with deep profiling, different profiling techniques. And it also includes the guest module, which is the guest module is the module that is used to provide the guest features to provide a captive portal, for example, to the customer, to the guest when they log into the network, and design different integration method, for example, with an SMS gateway. So this is the access license is the base for this, for the access for the ClearPass. Then we have the second an additional license called onboard, which is for onboarding the BYOD devices without manual intervention from the IT staff. And the third license is the OnGuard, which is the active analysis of the status of the device that is getting connected to the network. For example, know that this device or this Windows machine is patched, the antivirus is enabled and updated, and so we call it the regular term for this is the posture assessment. So this is the third license. So it's three licenses: access. This is the mandatory, or this is the minimum we can have, the onboard for the BYOD, and the OnGuard for the posture assessment and the active device monitoring of the devices. Onboard and OnGuard are optional; that can be added on it anytime, but the access is the minimum. And all these licenses are permanent or perpetual licenses. It's not subscription based. So it's a permanent license that you buy once and it stays with you forever. So this is the licensing model of the ClearPass. Of course, there is the hardware or the appliance that run. It can run on our Aruba appliance, branded box or hardware, or it can run on a virtual VM. So you buy the virtual software and you install it on your own virtual environment. So the coming question. How is the ClearPass configured on the client devices, manually or automatically?
Okay, so depending on the use case, ClearPass can do so many things like Islam just mentioned. It could be doing AAA, it could be doing radius services, it could be acting as a certificate authority, it could be acting as the backend for guest management, for connecting and onboarding personal devices onto the network, for policing multicast DNS traffic from different smart screens, smart TVs, Apple TVs, Bonjour services, and so on. It could be doing health checks, posturing with OnGuard, and it could be doing also BYOD workflows and integrating with third-party vendors for different use cases. Now, how is it configured? Depends on the use case. For things as simple as guest management, there's no configuration on the client side because you're browsing into the web over Wi-Fi or wired, and you automatically get redirected. When we talk about other features such as AAA and health checks like OnGuard, this is where there is some configuration that has to be done on the endpoint, and that is done in different ways depending again on the workflow. There are ways to automate, to roll out the changes on the endpoints through the system, through Active Directory, through SCCM, and so on. And ClearPass, through its BYOD workflow as well, it leverages BYOD to automatically configure secured wired connectivity, for example, or wireless on the endpoint devices that are connecting for the first time, especially if they are personal devices coming into the network. So again, we cannot dive into the details of how to do it, but it depends on the scenario in brief. Going to the last question, what is the NLP-based search? I think I went over this in the presentation. Do you want to take it, Islam, again?
It's, the NLP is natural language processing search, which is, as the name implies, it's how to take your natural questions that you are asking, the customer may need to ask to the system, as if they are asking for a human person. For example, I'm entering the IT office and asking the IT administrator. For example, how to configure the WEP authentication, for example. So, or what is the wireless quality, or how many users are connected to the network now. So it's a kind of asking question in a natural language, and then take it translating this to an actual thing that the system can understand. For example, the network management, if we are asking how many users are connected to the network, this is a natural way of asking the question. But traditionally, on the management software, you would go to the menu, for example, or the drop down of users, devices. So you ask the question in a natural language question, or a regular question, and it, using the artificial intelligence and machine learning techniques, it translates this to a specific menu. So it gets you directly to the section of the management software, or the network, or the Aruba central part that is taking care of this directly. So it will give you a link directly to go to the devices that is connected to the network. If you are connecting, asking about the who is connecting, or what devices are connected now to the network. So it's natural language processing, and how it translates to quick directly to take you directly to the section on the software that is handling this part of your question. Or maybe you are asking about how to open a tag, so it will give you directly to tag keys, to the menu that is used to generate the tag keys.
Okay, thank you very much, Islam. That's all from our side for Q&A. Going back to you, Malika, and the organizers, if there's anything to add.
Thank you, Femi. I think we also need to decide on the winners.
Okay, so yes, the picking the best question. So I think the question of the natural language processing search based search is a good question. It is about someone who is following the presentation and asking about the term that is just mentioned quickly by Fahmi. So I think this is a nice question. What is NLP based search?
Okay, that's great. So I will get in touch with the winner for this question. And of course, they'll be receiving an email today from me for Kahoot, as well as the best question winner. And on that note, once again, thank you on behalf of all of us at Aruba. And thank you, Islam and Femi, as well as the organizers at GEC for all the support. And please do not hesitate to get in touch with us for any questions anytime. And we are here to help you. So we look forward to getting in touch with all of you soon. Stay safe, and thank you all for joining.